Hello, guys, and thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Indiana Sports Connection. Today, we're going to talk about the Indianapolis Colts playing against the Jacksonville Jaguars at TIAA Bank Stadium this coming Sunday at 1 o'clock. The Colts have not won at Jacksonville in a long time, so we're going to talk about the keys to the game, the three things the Colts must do to win this game, and how they can win this game with Gardner Minshew. It's going to be a tough test. We're going to talk about that and how the Indiana Hoosiers play the Michigan Wolverines tomorrow, what we can expect out of that. All that and more on this episode of Indiana Sports Connection. But first, let's thank our sponsor, Reynolds Wrap. Reynolds Wrap is a great American product. You have this stuff. You know this stuff. Everybody has this stuff. Make sure you are not left out in the cold without this stuff. Reynolds Wrap, at halftime of the game, when you're watching the big game, make cleanup a cinch by using Reynolds Wrap. You can wrap things in it, put it in the fridge, put it in the freezer, wrap things in it on your grill or in your oven, and make cleanup so simple. Just wad it up and throw it away. Reynolds Wrap saves you time so you can get back to the big game. Thank you to Reynolds Wrap for sponsoring this channel. So let's get right into talking about the Indianapolis Colts and what they have in store for them this weekend. They're playing against the Jacksonville Jaguars. They have not had great success at Jacksonville in recent years at all. We all remember the Carson Wentz debacle, the last game of the year. What are the keys to the game for the Colts to win this game with Gardner Minshew at the quarterback position? First, let's go through a little bit of the injury report. I have the injury report here. Let's look at that. So on the Jaguars, one big thing, Zay Jones for them is out with a knee. He plays a lot in the slot for them, going across the middle. That's going to be clutch for the Colts because he's been tearing it up on some teams, getting like 8 or 9 catches. So, and he's on my wife's fantasy team, and somebody tried to trade Zay Jones to her, and that's how I found out he was injured, because it was a bad trade. All right, offensive lineman Walker Little did not participate in practice with a knee, and some of the others left practice. Christian Braswell, cornerback, Devin Lloyd, linebacker, left practice with a thumb. Cam Robinson, elbow. He was full participation. And for the Colts, they are waiting for, one of the big things for the Colts they're waiting for is, so one good thing, Shaq Leonard had a groin injury. He's full participation in practice on Thursday and on Wednesday. So he's been full go. Hopefully he can get himself right and get back out there on the field, Shaq Leonard, because we really need some of his turnovers. We need his turnovers to come. Kwity Paye and Bernard Ryman are both in the concussion protocol. They were full participants in practice on Wednesday and on Thursday. They need to just be cleared by an independent neurologist after they practiced on Friday, and then they will be cleared for the game on Sunday. So they need Kwity Paye to play in this game because they need him to get some pressure. Mo Alley Cox is in concussion protocol. He most likely will not play this weekend, but the Colts, they have a lot of tight ends that can fill in for him. I mean, he's not been a real dominant player. I mean, Granson, Ogletree, and Mallory can all catch passes just as good as Mo Alley Cox. And then Braden Smith, left practice Thursday with a foot-wrist injury, foot/wrist. So he's dealing with, I guess, still a bit of a hand injury and that. But so let's get into a little bit more of like that, what the Colts really need to do to win this game. So I think that the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to stuff the Colts in the running game until the Colts can throw the ball over their heads. Jacksonville, and this was no secret. I mean, Deion Jackson, who was on the team game one and really didn't get anything going on the ground against the Jaguars, a lot of that was because he takes a lot of, but the offensive line did not have a great game in that first game against Jacksonville. So if Jacksonville comes out and they put 8 guys in the box right to start out, can the Colts audible and throw the ball down the field a little bit to open up some of the running game a little bit for this team? That's going to be, I think, critical to this whole game. Can Gardner Minshew at least get a couple of 30, 40-yard passes and at least make them believe that the Colts are going to throw the ball down the field? The second key is going to be the offensive line. Like I said, the first time the Colts played the Jacksonville Jaguars, the offensive line just did not hold up that well. And part of that was Deion Jackson. He did have a fumble or two in that game, and he did not look that great. But at the same point, he was not, like, everything had not come together very well in that game because the running game was just not there at all. Now, Gardner Minshew, you may say, like in the Tennessee Titans game, the Colts ran the ball down Tennessee's throat late in the game and looked really, really good doing it. But this is going to be a different type of week because coming into this week, Jacksonville Jaguars are preparing for Gardner Minshew the entire week. They know he's going to start. They're going to be more prepared. That's why I believe they're going to stuff 8 guys in the box. Last week was a little bit on the fly when you have somebody come in like halfway through the game like that. Tennessee, they just weren't stuffing the run on the Colts. So, but with more preparation, Jacksonville will be more ready for Minshew and knowing that the Colts are going to try to run the ball a lot. And then Jonathan Taylor and Moss both have to have a big game. I think the Colts need to get about 160 yards on the ground in this game to win. They're going to need to run the ball, grind out some of that clock, have the short passing game really going strong, but loosening up some of that running and short passing game with a couple of deep balls. If Minshew can get the ball down the field, will go a long way towards opening things up for the Colts. One thing I want to bring up, Jerry Jeudy, he is rumored to be going to the Colts. I have seen a lot of things out there that it's almost like locked up. I mean, more and more, it just seems like this guy is going to be coming to the Colts. I watched the game last night, the Broncos game, and he played in that, and I just really don't know what to think of this guy. He's never had a good quarterback, so I don't think he's ever really had the greatest opportunities to really showcase the kind of talents that he has. But I remember, when he was at Alabama, he was an absolute beast. So, he was really good at Alabama. So, he would be a welcomed addition to the wide receivers the Colts have. Alec Pierce, there's no love lost putting Jerry Jeudy out there instead of Alec Pierce because we've just not seen a whole lot of good out of Alec Pierce. And, defenders are going to know that too. It's just he's a guy that's not able to get open right now, and just wish he could, kind of like get to that next level. Is very, very difficult. But these are some of the keys to the Colts game against Jacksonville. I'll make another video tomorrow, and we'll talk more about the Indianapolis Colts and what they have in store for them. But I just want to make this talk a little bit about what the Colts have coming up and the ways that the Colts and Gardner Minshew can get a victory in this game. I'm going to be honest with you. I think it's going to be a very, very difficult challenge for the Colts to get a victory in this game. But if you look at their schedule going forward, the Colts definitely have a schedule that could put them right around that 500 or 10-7 mark if they win some of the games against some of the weak teams, because they have a really weak schedule. So we'll be watching what happens with Jerry Jeudy in the next couple days before the trade deadline, and that is coming up, I believe, in the next couple weeks or so. I got to look into that when that date is actually. Until next time, stay classy out there, Colts fans.